And we're kicking this off. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon, the DOC, your favorite from the 313. The preseason's over. We got a conclusive answer. The Lions messed up on another third-round pick. It's unfortunate, but it's the fact. Here we go. No sugarcoating it. I asked Hendon Hooker directly. You fell behind Kyle Allen. It's a wrap. He looked, like a quarterback that understood his fate. We got to talk about it. Brad Holmes made an investment in a quarterback out of Tennessee that was hurt, and there was a thought that he would develop over the course of a couple years. And so everybody has a hand in this botch. Complete botch. You took a third-round pick with the hopes that you would develop him. So the coaching staff, now there are factors. There was a coaching change in terms of the offensive coordinator. How much should that impact a young quarterback? It set him behind. Once it's clear, once the organization went outside the building to bring back Teddy Bridgewater, that was the first sign that everybody noticed and everybody talked about. And then you go out and you challenge Hendon Hooker directly and you say, go beat Kyle Allen. He couldn't do it. Kyle Allen quickly developed a relationship with the team's best draft pick that's producing every single game in Isaac TeSlaa. And I don't accept the argument that it's not fair that Hendon had to work with a bunch of players that were potentially going to be cut. So did Kyle Allen. He kept his turnovers to a minimum after that first game. And the struggles, the numbers, the proof is in the pudding. Hendon Hooker did not develop. Brad Holmes made a mistake. The coaching staff did not develop a quarterback. And now we got to talk about it. Do you want Hendon Hooker on the practice squad? Not a correct fit. His offense that he ran in Tennessee did not help prepare him to get to the next level. Multiple open receivers again today. The team gives you a turnover and you turn it over right back. That's a wrap. That's unfortunate. That's why NFL not for long. But you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised because I sounded the alarm bells day one. And I was like, man, I sounded the alarm bells day one of training camp? No, I sounded the alarm bells day one of OTAs. Maybe that was reactionary, but I said, hey, he ain't firing on all cylinders. And I thought for day one, you would at least have command of getting the guys in motion properly, understanding the offense, understanding, hey, snap the ball correctly. There were issues day one that produced a column for me that said, I think the Lions could go with two new quarterbacks by the time this is all done. Day one of OTAs. And it wasn't that difficult to surmise because I put all the puzzle pieces together with everything included. Yeah, he made good throws. Yes, he had good practices. But there were two final exams that you have in every practice that just weren't happening consistently that I was telling you about each and every podcast, if you followed along. He wasn't leading touchdown drives in practice. How do you report that he's having a good training camp when there are consistent drills where he doesn't put the team into the end zone? Great. He can maneuver the ball from the 20 to the 20. But then when the defense needed to clamp down, there were no touchdown drives. He was off the field. And then the biggest final exam, when you get to the games, it was subpar and not to the level that would even come close to beating out Kyle Allen. That's a wrap. So we got to talk about it. What are your thoughts about Hendon Hooker and what went wrong? We got to talk about it. We're going to talk about Christian. He dropped his 53-man roster. We're going to talk about what you guys want out of this roster. The big debate, Jackson Meeks or Dominic Lovett. I think there's a tie. Where does the tie go to? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Isaac TeSlaa. He can contribute. You got to praise the best story coming out of training camp. Isaac TeSlaa can contribute, and you can see it, that if he starts getting work with the ones, he'll progressively get better. But man, that preseason, I'm thankful, is now over. It was good pace early on. There was a good pace established in that preseason contest. But Hendon Hooker's numbers, that's the biggest story coming out of camp, is that Hendon Hooker, what do you do? Clearly, he's not making the team, guys. Clearly. I put that in a previous 53-man prediction. I asked Dan Campbell directly, and then he had his final exam today, and he failed it. It was unfortunate. Thank you guys so much for all your continued support. Like, subscribe. We have time today. My family is celebrating, and I said I got to work. And I said, hey, maybe I can get there at 8, which I probably could have did. But they said, no, we want to get to dinner at 6. So I'm here. They're at dinner enjoying family time, but I got stuff to do. I got things I got to say. And I want to say them. But thank you. Like, subscribe, super chats go right to the front of the line. And I want to get to this right away. Gwendolyn DH plays, $4.99 super chat. Now, to be fair, he spent a year in meeting rooms. All players say that mental reps are valuable. Mental reps, you are learning the offense. You are watching Jared Goff. You are seeing how this goes. Yeah, you're not on the field. But last year you had a full training camp, and you arguably did pretty good. But there's still a whole year of practice, a whole year of meetings. That's 2 years. And now you get another offseason to work. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. It's not for long. He may benefit from going somewhere else. Dan Campbell kind of hinted at it. Change of scenery, because here's the reason. We're going to talk about it. It's a complete issue with the organization. They didn't develop a quarterback. Can they? Because they're going to have to go draft another one. Is Kyle Allen the backup for the next 2-3 years? Goff's the leader. And I know people say, why do you spend a lot of time talking about the backup? Because you could have flipped Hendon Hooker for a different round pick, or you could at least got something back for him should you have had him be any sort of productive. And it's concerning because there was a competition that was had and a player did not step up. You don't typically see that. You would have thought that he would have won this battle. That was the expectation. I think going into it, most of us, I thought that Hendon would easily, knowing the offense, knowing the players on this team, being around here, would have given him an edge. Kyle Allen came in and took his job. That's a wrap. It's over. Thank you for the super chat, $4.99. Gwendolyn DH plays. That really means a lot to me. So what do you guys think? What went wrong with Hendon Hooker? What happened? Why did this not go right? He's in meetings. He's working with Jared Goff. He's around the organization, works with Ben Johnson, Tanner Engstrand for 2 years. And now this year, his confidence is shot, making bad throws, not finding open receivers, and he is pulling the trigger to run the ball way too quickly. It's a complete collapse of confidence, and it's one of those deals where once it goes in that direction, it's hard to get back. He acknowledged the bad ball security, the worst of his life. In the NFL, you're one play away from needing a backup, but you got one now in Kyle Allen. He's the backup. What went wrong? Systematically, the player didn't rise up to the occasion. The coaching staff didn't develop him. He was not able to match his skills with the Lions offense. Now it is clear to me, and that's what I posted throughout the game. I don't think that I don't think any of the 31 other teams would pick him up. Do you guys want Hendon Hooker back on the practice squad? Would the Bears or the Jets take a chance? Nothing on film indicates that another team would see something that they would go, yeah, we want to work with this. So for Hendon, he's got to hope that the Lions still want a relationship with him. And I don't know about that. And Brent, that's what we're discussing. What do you guys think? Is it Hooker and all these quarterbacks, or is it the QB coach? Not one quarterback developed in 4 years. I'm just asking. Brent, you have a valid point. What is going on? You had Jake Fromm on your practice squad the whole year, and you blew him out. But remember, guys, that Vic gets in, do you think Lions can't coach a mobile quarterback? He's a passing quarterback. Yeah, he's got mobile abilities, but he's not going to light the world on fire. He's coming off of a significant leg injury. He's got talent. He's got elusiveness, but he's not what you would call a speedy burner. They wanted him to be a pocket passer. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Exactly. MC3, who dat? This wasn't the right team for him to be drafted to. Now you have a third-round pick that is on Brad Holmes' record that is unfortunately not going to work out. It's not going to work out here. And if you're Hendon Hooker, you probably should just say, you know what? Wipe my hands clean. It didn't work out here. Let me go somewhere else. Just cut me out. I don't want to come back to the practice squad. I want to find something else. I want to take my skills somewhere else and start over. Repair everything from the get-go. This wasn't the right team for him to be drafted to. I agree with you, Hudat. And again, just remind everybody, this was documented. We documented it, that there were issues that we were seeing in training camp. Now, again, he made good throws. He had some good practices. He got better, but not to the degree where he met the standard of a backup. You got to lead touchdown drive. This is all I look for. I look for these things in practice. Okay, can you get in and out of and some of the things Dan Campbell tells you to watch it. Can you get in and out of the huddle quickly? Can you get the guys to organize in and out tempo to the level where it's consistent and you avoid issues? Can you lead drives consistently up and down the field and score points? Can you avoid the mistake? Can you scan the field in these drills and pull the trigger and lead guys open? Some of those things were okay, but nothing to the level of what Kyle Allen was showing consistently in games and in practice. And Hendon Hooker definitely had his, I thought, best practice against the Texans, but it was too little too late. Because then when it was time to do that in the game, it didn't happen. His numbers over the preseason are horrible. Oh my goodness, it's bad. That's not what anybody expected in any capacity for a quarterback that developed. It's unfortunate. It's a big deal because you are going to need another backup. You're going to have to pick somebody else. Eventually, Jared Goff's time is going to run out. Maybe he has a good five years left, but that comes quickly. Look at these numbers in my notes. 22 for 40, 187 yards, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, and 2 fumbles. I think that's a wrap. I think we might have seen the last of Hendon Hooker, guys. Am I wrong? Have we seen the last of Hendon Hooker? Do you want him on the practice squad? Yes or no? And why? I just think it's a wrap. I think for him and the organization, it might be one of those deals where maybe if he comes back, he can develop further, but that's a wrap. He didn't win the competition. And I think the person who doesn't win the competition must be cut. He's going to be cut. And go take a look. I still don't understand. I racked my brain. A lot of reporters still had Hendon Hooker last week in their projections. Based off of what? History said that the Lions have only kept 2 quarterbacks for the last couple years. Hendon wasn't playing good. And I was shocked to see several recent projections that had 3 quarterbacks. That makes no real common sense because, I didn't think about what Dan told me when I asked him, but inherently, I just wanted that spot for another player that could help. So I didn't put in my mind depth, but that's exactly what it was. I was thinking, I just want another player that can be productive more than Hendon Hooker. I was like, how are they, where are they coming with 3 quarterbacks and leaving out a linebacker, leaving out an offensive lineman, leaving out a wide receiver? I was just like, I was flummoxed. I thought maybe I was being harsh. But I think now, once I asked Dan and once you saw the final exam, there ain't nobody in town going to write a 53-man projection with 3 quarterbacks. I think everybody was just a little bit slow because I think they looked for small signs of growth, but that still doesn't mean like they were comparing Hendon to Hendon. I think that's a fallacy. Don't compare a guy to himself. Compare him to what a backup should look like. Lead touchdown drives, look efficient, keep the tempo flowing. They're like, let's compare Hendon to Hendon. Well, Hendon was pretty bad. He started off as a raw quarterback. You guys, the quarterback should have high expectation in regards to what they should be doing. They should be leading some touchdown drives, using some of the draft picks to get a little bit better. I mean, Kyle Allen figured it out. Hooker should have had 5 touchdown passes to TeSlaa. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. A lot of reasons, lots of blame to go around. It's not just him. The coaching staff has to take ownership of the fact that they drafted a guy and spent so much time with him, it didn't go nowhere. It went backwards. Going backwards is not where you need players to go. It's a very rare situation, too. A lot of players develop. Do you want Hendon Hooker on the practice squad, part of the 69-man total roster? I don't know if Hendon should want to. There you go, Max Splicer. You want him to look like Tyson Badgett from the Bears. Not great, but competent against backups. I've seen plenty of those performances. That's where my thinking comes from. I thought at first I was wild. I was like, man, I wrote a column after the first day of OTAs. That seems a little premature, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I documented why I wasn't happy, and I was worried. I was like, that's not day one stuff. That's like remedial, I've never been here before stuff. So remember, the doc kept it to you straight day one. I was worried. Time for Hendon to move on and find his place in the UFL or CFL from JPP J Page 2. JP Page 2. Do you want Hendon Hooker back on this roster in the practice squad? Braylon's out. Nope, not at all. It stinks to see when a player loses his confidence and is just scratching his head, but that's what happened. And remember, I asked him directly. The reporters were good. They were trying to get at the point that we know that you're struggling. So I asked him directly, what's your reaction to kind of falling behind Kyle Allen? And then another reporter followed up greatly with how frustrating is it. He feels let down. He feels like his performance was a letdown. And he knows, he feels like he could have did better. I'm not so certain anymore. Now, guys, you have to ask the question, what's your comfort level with Kyle Allen as your backup? That's the deal. What's your comfort level on a scale of 1 to 10? Drop it in the chat. I'll pick up some. And I'll tell you why I'm okay with it. I think I walk away being a little bit more comfortable. How comfortable are you with Kyle Allen? And here's why. He won the battle. You got to give him credit. I think I'm very comfortable. I think now if you step up the talent he works with Amon-Ra, J-Mo, TeSlaa, and an offensive line that's probably going to be top 10 in the NFL, I think he can maneuver a couple series, maybe a game or two. Listen, nobody's going to expect him to come in and save a season. That's not Kyle Allen. Jared Goff goes down, the expectation for the seasons are over. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I can sleep good at night, 1 being I'm panicked. How comfortable are you with Kyle Allen? He's your backup. He won the job. I'm at a 6.8. I'm okay. I think he can go in, lead a couple drives. Could he do it in the playoffs? Yet to be determined. Haven't seen him work with the ones. But he won the battle. He's your backup. I think a fair 7, between a 6.8 and a 7.5 is fair. But the bigger question now, we have to throw that out there too. MC3 Who Dat gets a 7.5. J Page 2, 7. Drew is good. I'm good with Kyle. CR8 on is a 6. Creighton. Get in here. Get your number. What number scale 1 to 10 do you give your comfort level for Kyle Allen? How comfortable are you? I don't know. I might roll over once and be a little concerned, but I think the talent on offense could suffice for a game or two. Not for a month. No IR stint for Goff. You can't get 4 games. He's only allowed to miss a series. That's it. We need to have Jared Goff healthy. But now you have to start to point to the general manager. Unfortunately, that's a big one. That's a big flop. How much blame does GM Brad Holmes deserve for this one? Because there were a lot of fans that said, hey, this is a win now team. And you invested a third round pick and three players that were projects. 3. Hooker, Giovanni Manu, and Broderick Martin on a team that was about to win a Super Bowl. And that 2023 draft is brutally bipolar. The top half is legendary. The second half ain't. Legendarily bipolar. Hooker, Martin, Sorsdahl, Green. Imagine if just one or two of those hit. Guys, that's the difference between a 23 Super Bowl win and maybe not. Brad owes us one. But it's tough from where they were. They were rebuilding. How much blame does he deserve? You know, it's on his record now. It starts to intensify a little bit because that's a bipolar draft. That's still the top end, though, is really good. It tilts the scales a little bit better. But man, those bottom 4. Braylon's starting to be concerned. A lot of blame, Doc. Yeah, it's 4 picks that you could have just needed one more to hit. I don't think Manu counts on that. But I'm saying Manu counts on the overall developmental list. But in 23, there were 2 guys that maybe you didn't need to pick in Hooker and Martin. Manu, yeah, he still got time. Drew is point blank. I put all the blame on Hooker. All right. What percentage of blame goes where? I'm 60% on Hooker, 40%, 60% on Hendon Hooker, 25% on the coaching staff for not developing properly, and 15% on Brad Holmes for making the pick in the first place. You get one quarterback whiff. Now pick somebody that actually can play and ball. Maybe is the next one, you guys tell me, is the next quarterback the replacement for Goff or another clipboard holder, developing quarterback? I'm ready for the next guy. Not to replace Jared Goff, but okay, we're teaching you. Like Aaron Rodgers, you're getting taught. Aaron Rodgers was pushing Brett Favre, where the fans were like, put him in. Now, anytime anybody said Hendon Hooker's name, people were like, I don't believe in that, and you got laughed out of the room. We need the next guy that we say, hey, Jared, listen, we know you got 3-4 years left in you, but we got to get after it. Do you guys think, who that agrees with me, do you guys think Goff's the quarterback for the next decade and you just go for a lower level? I'm always about, it's clear Hendon Hooker wasn't the best option to develop. Somebody 22 years old, athletic, without an injury history is my requirement. Big arm, big swagger. Somebody that comes in and says, I don't want a company guy. Like, I've seen that for a decade. The Staffords and the Goffs and the company guys, the corporate guy. I want a little bit of a Brett Favre to come in here. Hey, Jared, like you, but I'm coming to take your job. And Jared's looking like, what? And he slips to Doc and say, hey, this is why I'm better than him. Let's go. What's wrong with that? Instead, we get these corporate types that just want to be straight-laced. But, hey, Jared Goff did throw up the 4s. He's comfortable now. The second year of $50 million makes him feel comfortable. That was good. That was nice. It went viral. JMO and JG and the crew. Throw up the 4s. That's when you're comfortable. Goff's comfortable. I don't want that. I don't want him throwing 4s out. I want him back in the film room right away because the guy behind him is throwing the ball deep to JMO. I want the other guy to throw up the 4s. Let's get some competition because competition, you think Kyle Allen's going to push Jared Goff? He's going to just tell him, hey, watch for this and watch for that. Jared Goff sleeps easy at night. I want Jared to toss and turn just a little bit. That keeps you sharp. Get the next Aaron Rodgers in here. Let's go. What's wrong with that? Somebody that's going to be like, yeah, I'm confident. And you start seeing him sling it all over the place. And Doc's like, guys, this guy's good. Instead, we got these corporate types that don't move the needle. And Hendon bought right into that. Like, no, you got to be rugged. Hendon should have been like, I want this job. Hendon probably got deflated when Goff got that money. He was like, I got no chance to start here. Yes, you did. Throw some touchdowns. You know, he had a chance. It didn't go right, and that's a wrap. What happened? What do you guys think about the quarterback spot? It's an important position. You spend a lot of time talking about it. It's important. And Brad Holmes, I think, deserves a little bit of a demerit for the Hendon Hooker pick. Super Bowl team 23. That was a Super Bowl team. 2 more picks. Broderick Martin, Hendon Hooker. That was a Super Bowl team. That was the team. I feel like I'm owed another Super Bowl. J-Rod16. What's up, Doc? Just talking ball, man. Feeling good. 400 people in here. Smash the like button. Truth is, Hendon Hooker was just a college quarterback that was great and nothing more. Just a fan. I don't know. I feel like you can repair that with some upgrades, but it needs more time. Maybe in his 30s, 30, 31. Maybe you get that late surge like a Geno Smith. I could see a little Geno Smith action in there, but not here in Detroit. That's over. Got to go somewhere else. The fans were booing in a preseason game. You know how bad that is? The fans were booing him. And just look at the comments under the Lions X post about Hendon. Whew. You guys gave up on him. The relationship is severed. The confidence is lost. And I think that the marriage between the Lions and Hendon Hooker should be over. 2 quarterbacks, and I think he should move on to a different organization. Use a spot on somebody else. Pick a quarterback that gets cut and see if there's anything there on the practice squad. That's a wrap. All right. And feel free. Hendon Hooker comments are free throughout the whole show. I don't know how long I'm going. As long as you guys keep bringing it, bring the likes, the super chats, I'm here. I'm energized. I think you can tell. We still got a lot of content at Lions on SI. It'll drop while I'm on the air. What Dan Campbell said, who played well, studs and duds. What I skirted around the locker room. I talked to Deion Jackson, Craig Reynolds, Isaac TeSlaa, Hendon Hooker, and Whiteside. So locker room stuff is valuable. I could never go into the locker room and then declare that's not valuable. It's interesting. You're talking to a player. I was kind of surprised some of my colleagues don't feel that same way. I feel like the interesting stuff, like Dan Campbell stuff, is broadcast, so I get to see it. I feel like the locker room stuff is very interesting. I want to know what the players are thinking. It's a good question. We're going to talk about it. Christian's is first. Mine comes out tomorrow. I let him react first, and mine comes out fully tomorrow. I think between the both of us, we're going to have a good 95% accuracy. It's just going to come down to a couple players. I mean, I'm expecting to get 50 out of 53. Christian, 48, 49, 51, maybe better. And ask. Drop them in. Super chats get to the front of the line. Drop the name. What do you think about Nate Lynn? What do you think about this guy? And I'll give you all my thoughts. Directly. Is Whiteside going to make it? I think he's on the outside looking in. Too good a depth with Yasin and Avonte Maddox and the depth there. But we're going to go through. We're going to go through. Drop the name of who you think. And we'll go through because the players that don't make it are the bubble players. Moody has a chance. That might be the one me and Christian debate on. He has a chance. He was good on the second team. I think he has a chance. All right. Now, some you guys are great. You guys know what's up. Some of you guys are really smart, and you're dropping your 53-man on X. But guys, come on, 53-man rosters on X is tough to read, man. That's a long list, and it's just not user friendly. But I mean, if you feel like that's what you want to do, I don't know. It's just not user friendly. But on a website, it's long too. So we'll go through it piece by piece with what Christian had to say. You know, and I'm curious on a couple names on what you guys think too. Cody knows what's up. Shout out to Cody. Cody Y. What are we going to do with Vaki? It looks good, but can't stay healthy. In the context of going through Christian's 53-man, I'll hit on all the narratives. But 53-man, drop the names you want me to know to get at specifically. I know the some. And then right now, I want to see the comments. Mix or love it? I think it's a tie. And I spoke with another reporter. I think we know where tie goes to. You just have to go with the pattern. And see, you guys are right. You guys are right in line with how I think. Thank you, Lynn. $5 super chat. Lion Insider. $5 super chat. Man, much appreciated, guys. When you do that, it really is nice and it's humbling. Gets in. Lion Insider gets into the Lone Wolves podcast. Hooker is missing the most important quarterback ability, and it's all between the ears. Vision and smarts. Quit drafting quarterbacks that don't have it. There has to be a full evaluation of who selected this player. Why did you think that he was going to be somebody that had a chance to develop, and why did it flop? You got to learn from it. That's it. That's all you get. You can't be whiffing on quarterbacks you draft. It's important because twofold. It's a position you need, and you could have went somewhere else. Did you really need the developmental player then when you could have just went with a veteran? And I don't think it's between the ears. I think that it's a combination of the fact that he didn't work with the best talent, and the fact is there was a coaching change after 2 years. There has to be some small wrinkles that set you behind. Small wrinkles set you behind right away. I do think he's very bright. And I do think he definitely does need to work on his vision, for sure. He definitely runs and goes, and he missed a couple open receivers today. Shout out to you, Lion Insider. $5, man. That means a lot. Thank you. Braylon gets in. Braylon, my man. You're on it, man. I appreciate your support and being here regularly. You want to know right now, $2 super chat. Meeks or love it? Honestly, Meeks over love it, in my opinion. Man, it's really, that's how I view it too. I feel like Meeks made like a couple more plays impactful. But total picture, Lovett was a draft pick. That means they spent a lot of time on him. He had a really good practice the last couple times. I feel like that there is an issue, though, that I think Meeks gets claimed somewhere else. He put enough out on tape. There was a lot of nice buzz. I feel like they go with the draft pick. I feel like when it's that close, the part that gives Meeks a lot of edge is that he's going to have a connection with Darius Smith. And the fact is that Dan Campbell said we need to have a long meeting. Man, I could put both Meeks and Lovett. Do you do 6 wideouts? I could do it. I think it might be tough. I might be lazy and just put both and then just cut somebody else. Do I take away? Okay. Now, Braylon, you're a bright guy. You add Meeks to the roster and you add them both. Who do you take out? Take out a Keith Cooper, take out a Nate Lynn. Who gets cut as a result of an additional wideout? See, I'm thinking 5 or 6 wideouts. Do you cut a linebacker? Do you cut Tim Patrick? No, I think he clearly has a value on this team. They like his size. He can mentor Isaac TeSlaa. Exactly. So for those of you wondering, okay, Braylon, then you gotta kind of bring it. If you keep them both, who do you take out? I feel like both made it. I feel like both did enough. Oh, Braylon, that's tough. I did that once and got ridiculed. Braylon says keep 7 wide out. That's a little tough. That's a little tough. I don't think I could print that and let that run through. Vito, Christian, myself, I don't think I can print that. But it's something to talk about. Do you cut Vaki? Reynolds? It's a discussion point. It's a discussion point. That's why this is so worthwhile and so interesting to try and accomplish. That's why these talks are amazing and tough. And tough. Very tough decisions when you look at what the Lions are going through, man. That's what makes the 53-man roster projections. That's why we're doing 2 of them. That's why we're doing 2. You know? Let me just give you a little insight as to who were the starting players today. Again, you can check out Lions on SI. I did a little bit more of a briefer takeaways. Look, it was a final preseason game, and I wanted to enjoy the action, enjoy the ambiance, talk to reporters, talk to some editors. Now, I will give this is the lighthearted moment of the show. There was some unprofessionality going on in the media room. Now, I don't think the person intentionally did this, but it made me laugh because I was like, should I say something? Because I think in preseason they don't announce it, but it's funny. Let me stay on track real fast. The starting defense was Alquadin Muhammad and Pat O'Connor, Chris Smith, Miles Adams, linebackers Nowaski, Zach Cunningham, and Stewart, cornerbacks Nick Whiteside, Alan George, with the backside being the back end, Rock Ya-Sin and Eric Hallett. The starting offensive line, which basically is the twos, that's why I think they have a strong chance to be talked about. Manu, Moody, Kingsley Egwakun, Awosika, and Dan Skipper. I feel like those are your reserves, but we'll talk about that in Christian's 53-man roster prediction. Again, rewind it if you need to. But there was some unprofessionality in the not in the locker room, in the media room. Let me tell you what happened. Shout out Mike D. Barker, Hotmail. Shout out to you for checking in. So it's quiet. You are not allowed to cheer in the press box. So typically, and I don't think he noticed this, but I get typically assigned with the two prideful guys to my left and another reporter to my right. And I always go, I like the space. I like the elbow room. I'm left-handed. I want more space. So typically, no disrespect, no hate, I typically get there early. I take my card out and I go to the far right side I sit in the end zone because there's 4 empty seats. So I get basically me and nothing else to my right. I mean, who wouldn't love that? Space is king. It's commodity. So no offense. So I gave Jeff Risdon extra space. Wiggle room. He's a bigger guy. I feel like he appreciated it. I hope they don't ever take offense. I just rather keep the noise quiet. A couple of the guys like to talk during the game. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm trying to type and I get distracted. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to hear the 53-man battle going on in the press box. And the two guys to my left chit-chat quite a bit. Good guys, but they talk and it's just distracting. So I sit by myself. It's quiet. I can get in and out by the stairs. I'm in my own zone, my own world, watching the game. No distractions. I definitely have a couple of people I always check in with in the media. I say hello to my man Leland. God bless him, man. Spartan dog. My man Leland's great. We joke around a lot. Like, we're still doing this? I always check in with a couple guys for sure. But I like it quiet. Like, my head's quiet. I watch football. I don't need all the rigmarole next to me. But these two editors came down and sat next to me. Production guys, video guys. They were editing next to me. No problem. Doing their work. Bada bada boom. They're doing their thing. I'm peeking and chatting with them. No problem. Hendon Hooker gets that scramble, right? I'm like, oh, he made a play. The dude to my left gets up and full on screams Hendon's name. Hendon! And I'm like, no, that's the Cardinal thing you can't do. Like, he literally got up and almost stood up and gave Hendon a standing ovation. I'm like, man, my man, this guy's having a bad game. And he literally, from his heart, yeah, Hendon! I was like, floored by it because that's the Cardinal rule. You can't do that. But he also is employed by one of the Lions. No, he's one of the Lions pays him to do video work. Whew, I found that out and I was going to say, do I say something? Because what if it happens again? Hendon! He screamed it at the top of his lungs that it distracted me. And so luckily by that point, I was into it. And I'm like, that's why they put them to the far right. And I'm supposed to sit with the other guys. But it's okay. I'm down with that. I like that. I like a little bit of the weird ass stuff. And then to my left, there were scouts. These teams are professional. I don't think I'm supposed to say which teams brought their scouts, but I know. Damn, these guys are professional. Which I guess it's kind of interesting. I would not let them in. Like, what are you trying to get our guys? Oh, man. Man, I think I might know then if Meeks gets cut, who's going to take him? I know which scouts came to town. So to my right were scouts, and I love the scouts. They got their setup, and they got their work. They're serious. And you got this guy next to me. Hendon! Yeah, you got your rush. And so it was lighthearted. Hendon! He cheered from his heart. from his heart. I thought it was his brother. I was like, is this your uncle? He was a video guy. I was like, is this your cousin? Yeah, it was a full heart, loud cheer. Hendon! And I was like, yeah, man, it was cool. But I got his information, so. Oh, man, it's great. Oh. Hendon! like screamed so loud that it might have needed a little bit of a talking to. That's okay. It's okay. It's my fault for sitting far to the right. But I like sitting in the end zone. Whew, I'm having fun. I think you can see I'm lighthearted. What am I going to do? Confront the guy? Be like, hey, we can't be doing that here. There's supposed to be some decorum. It's like I'm saying, guys, it wasn't like, hey, good job. No, in the Michigan press box, there's full on like dancing and partying. They're almost barbecuing in there. The old play-by-play guy basically does play-by-play after every play. Okay, Jim, we got the point. The ref screwed the Michigan Wolverines. Thanks, Jim. Nice man, though. What are you going to do? They do announce it. There's no cheering in the press box. At Michigan, they have a full-on party when there's a touchdown. We're just going to bring all the sponsors. Like, hey, if you give enough money, you can go and basically write a story for Michigan if you want. You can get on the PA announcer and just shout out something. I'm like, it's supposed to be quiet. They're all cheering, and I laugh. It's fun. I have fun with this job. Oh, man. Whew. Fun times. Oh, man. Hendon! All right, baby. All right, baby. You got to cheer. You got someone cheered. Oh, man. All right, let's get after it. I actually like it. They it's an energy. The Michigan State is a little bit more professional. It's more serious in the press box. People just follow the rules. Michigan's like a party. I mean, there's food. There's like 200 people in there. You can't legislate 200 people in a press box. You literally can't. It's great. It's a blessing to be there. I mean, I can't believe they still let me in there. Oh, let me get comfortable here. They let me in the press box at Michigan, man. It's fun. I'm going to the Ohio State game. Michigan, Ohio State. Now I put a credential request. They sent it back in 5 minutes. A-okay. Looking forward to it. All right, let's talk business. Let's talk turkey, what you guys care about. Enter your names. I'll tell you my thoughts about them. But I'm going to go through position by position because Christian does a great job. He deserves credit. Read his work. He's a talented journalist. He's hardworking. And the dude is moonlighting as a basketball coach. And a football coach, doing work out in his community. He wants to serve his community. He's got the coaching gene in him. He's sticking with me. I'm like, are you leaving me? You've been with me for 6 years out of my 7. Are you leaving me? I asked him, he's a week into the job. I'm like, you're going to quit your job as a teacher? I said, are you quitting yet? Coaching? Nope, he ain't quitting. I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. It's a fun time, man. Fun time. All right, let's get after it. Listen, check out his work. You can follow along with everything that this guy does. He's a good writer, can write on deadline, and he can get after it. And also, too, remember, Lions NSI was right on top of keeping Hendon Hooker out of the 53-man. Come on, guys. You guys should have known that. He wasn't playing good enough. He was not playing good enough. So I'm not mean. I'm not somebody who needs my own therapist. I can watch football with my eyes. And I grade the way a coach would grade. Score me some touchdowns and I'll be happy. Stall a drive and I'm not happy. You know, 2 quarterbacks, Jared Goff and Kyle Allen, out. Hendon Hooker. It's pretty clear. If you see anybody that puts 3, something's wrong. There's some homer status going on. They might be in the cheer for Hendon camp next to me. Nobody is putting 3. If they put 3, the next time I come on Wednesday, say, hey, John, this guy put 3. I'm going to go, hey, what's wrong with you? Trust the doc. I told you 2 last week on mine. Trust the doc. I go there, not for my own health, to watch what I see and to evaluate reasonably. Now, maybe a little bit critically, but I'd rather be too critical than too nice. That's how you're supposed to look at it. Do more. Do more for me so that we can, so the Detroit Lions organization can win a Super Bowl. Do more. Great. You won one. Where's the other one? 2 quarterbacks. I think we all can agree. Peaceful harmony. My man to my left will not be screaming anymore. Hendon, my man with the rush. All right, 4 running backs. Now, here's the debate I'm going to have and throw out there. I don't know, guys. Vaki seems like a risk. He's been battling that hamstring, battling multiple injuries. He wasn't there today. Dan said it's going to be longer. I think you could steal a spot by moving on from Vaki. Sailors or Jackson, one of those two should end up on the practice squad. Guys, here's the thing. In my discussions with the colleagues, we all think that Sailors can pretty much do what Vaki does. And he had a camp. Sailors earned a spot. Guys, come on. You don't build a team with special teamers. Michael, I respect you. Vaki's too valuable for special teams to cut loose. Unless his injury is season ending. I get it. There's value there. But you got Stewart. You got Khalif Raymond. You got potentially Pittman. You got special teamers. And maybe you're right. Well, listen. Christian knows what's up. I'm bringing up a full range conversation. Is anybody in a rush? You want me to cut this off and just go right through it? We are basting our chili right now. We are just cooking it up. It's nice, ready potentially to eat, but we have time. I don't have to go anywhere. What do you guys think about Vaki? Is there any concern? I'm checking in if we got the next article up. I probably would presume it would be. Let's see if I give it 10 more minutes. The stars of the game will come out in like 10 minutes. So, 4 running backs. What do you and also too, this is Christian's. We can pick it apart. He's got thick skin. He's been with me for 5 years. You think I was nice to him? He understood it after 4 years. I'm not here to tell you how great you are. We're here to meet a standard. And he understood it. I think he understood it finally. He challenges me. I challenge him. Write better. Do better. Write faster. Be like me. You wrote 5 articles today. Why didn't you want to write 7? And I think he understood. I think if you ask him, I help make him a better coach. Hey, free one. Caleb sucks. Your favorite uncle. Always will let that one slide. What do you think about 4 running backs? Would you cut out Vaki for another spot and just roll with Sailors on the practice squad? Deion Jackson was a nice player. I talked to him. He felt like he got better. Felt like, hey, just a couple weeks being here, he did the best that he could. I think I mistakenly called him a different name. But I understood once I saw. I'm like, okay. I asked the general for a lot of the players on the up and coming, how'd you get better? Why Detroit? And everybody raves about how good the players are here. Drago, there's some support. Vaki on the practice squad. I think somebody would take Vaki. That's the problem. I think that Vaki has some talent. And they're patient. So maybe you get a break and Vaki goes on the pup for 4 games and you keep Sailors. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to gamble. I'm going to gamble with Vaki and say maybe he said not concerning, but a little longer. You can slide another player in. I think this one's a roster trick. I think I might have trumped. I have to see Dan Campbell's presser. I'm only reading what Vito wrote. But he said Vaki is going to take a little time, but not too serious. Do you just throw them out there for missing a month and keep sailors? You might try it. What do you guys think? What do you think about Vaki? Are you nervous? I'm starting to get nervous. My nervous level before camp was a 2. Now it's at a 5.3 out of 10. How nervous are you about Vaki? Six wide receivers for Christian. Christian takes out Jackson Meeks. Is that bad? He keeps St. Brown, Jamo, Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, Isaac TeSlaa, Dominic Lovett. My initial thinking is Ty goes to the draft pick. And did Meeks win out enough to handle it? I don't think so. I think the issue is, though, is the fair assessment is I think Meeks has maybe a higher upside where he can get to. Do we keep Meeks on the roster at the expense of Lovett? I don't know if you keep both. What do you guys think? I think Meeks might have the bigger upside, higher end talent. Might end up starting somewhere else. He might have earned a job somewhere else. What do you guys think? Meeks, Lovett, who wins in your mind? I might do it. I might put Meeks over Lovett, but I feel like the tie goes to the draft pick. Meeks had a, A+ kind of camp, and Lovett had kind of like a B+, A- kind of camp, but there's some talent there. There's special teams value. He picked up the pace a little bit. I thought for what Jackson Meeks needed to do, he put his name on the map. He makes it hard. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think and agree with Theo99 Meeks might draw his uncle to sign here? You agree with that? I don't know. I mean, now, I think Smith wants to come here. Could Meeks be enticing for Smith to sign cheaper here? That could be realistic. Well, if my nephew's there, fine, I'll take $5 million, but a lot of it's got to be earned. Fine. I might do it. I mean, you have to do something different. I can't drop Patrick. He's good. And when he's there, he made catches on the second and third team. He's too good to leave. He will go somewhere else. The second that Patrick gets cut, the Bears would sign him. Instantly. Instantly. I think he'd go somewhere else and have a chance. I think you keep Patrick. I think it's going to be probably the opposite for me. I'm teasing mine, but we'll see. We'll see. 6 receivers, though. I don't think any of the reporters are going to put 7. That would be a little, in my opinion, a little much. You got enough with one of the best receivers in the world in Sam Laporta. We got 3. Zach Horton, I think, played himself out of a game today, out of a job. Bad penalty. I think it was on him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Zach Horton 40. But we'll see. Laporta, Wright, Shane Zylstra. I think that gets you where you need to go. 3 tight ends. Offensive line, 9. This is where me and Christian might disagree. I think Egwakun stays. You might need 10 linemen and cut somewhere else. I think I'm going to go 10 linemen. Glasgow, Ratledge, Mahogany, Sewell, Decker, Skipper, Awosika, Giovanni Manu, Moody, Egwakun. Jamarco Jones, man, I think he's got a chance to be a good player. Good enough to be on the practice squad. Egwakun, I think, is good. He had his ups and downs, though. Who would I take out? Did Skipper do enough? Guys, do you think Skipper makes a team? That might be one where if there's a shocker, don't be surprised is Skipper, man. It's rough. I do think he's a solid depth tackle, but could you upgrade with Jamarco Jones? That might be tight. If we're wrong, it's going to be tight. Yeah, I agree, Peter. He's going to be on mine. Peter, would you take anybody out from this list? I think Skip makes the team. It's tight, though. Skipper had a nice camp when not going against Hutch. Yeah, you're right, Max Spicer. Yeah, you guys are right. U of M dad, Skipper is a swing tackle. Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right, Peter. I think you're right. That'll probably be my switch. But I might do it. I might take out Skipper and put in Jamarco Jones. I'll look at their age. I'll look at all my notes again. It's close. That'll be a talking point. That'll be a Hank decision and a Dan decision. Yeah. Don't be surprised. Jamarco did okay. It wasn't terrible. So that's the offense. Give Christian credit, man. He thought about this all throughout the game. This one's pretty straightforward. 5 edge rushers. Hutchinson, Davenport, Ahmed Hassanin, Al-Quadin Muhammad, Nate Lynn. Now, positive update from Hassanin. He says sooner rather than later on Instagram. So that's a good sign. They might carry him and not put him on IR. If he goes on IR, he misses 4 games. But who would you keep? Maybe you swing in Ogude if he goes on IR. Nate Lynn makes it. For those that it's just he made it. He earned a spot. Nate Lynn earned a job. Al-Quadin Muhammad earned a job. Do we trade Nate Lynn, Al-Quadin Muhammad, Ahmed Hassanin in a first for Micah Parsons? Man, Micah and Jerry, that saga is crazy. I don't deal with agents. We had a deal. Man, Jerry don't like that agent. DM5 TV. Couldn't we cut Zylstra, keep 7 wideouts, and list either Meeks as TP or TP as tight end 3? I don't think you're going to do that. Zylstra does. I think they like 3. You have a tight end as the head coach. They like blocking. You can't roll with 2 tight ends blocking to that degree. It won't work. You need more. Meeks is a tight end. No, I don't think you're going to fly like that. Creative, but I think 3 tight ends all the way. Yep, Peter knows. Nate deserves a spot. Yeah. Jay Page. Hassanin returning will be huge. It's all been good news so far. Theo99. What has Wingo ever done? He got drafted by Brad Holmes. That gives you cred in the Lions world. That means they did work on you. They like your personality. It's basically your foot in the door. Basically, it's a love affair. And the heart grows fonder when you get these players. And Brad puts in a lot of work. And they don't want to give it up right away. They don't want to give up on it. Well, they spend too much. Well, they get injured. Well, they might be undersized. Well, but there's an affection. Brad gets attached. But I drafted him. All your friends are like, hey, this person's not the right one for you. I don't care. The heart wants what the heart wants. And the heart drafted Wingo. So Wingo stays. But he's on alert. He's on alert for sure. You got to produce. You got to produce. You guys, I like it. I like it. You guys are a tough crowd. I like it. Five defensive tackles. DJ Reader, Roy Lopez, Tyleek, Pat O'Connor, Mekhi Wingo. Keith Cooper out. Is he wrong? I think there could be room if you part ways with Pat O'Connor. Keith Cooper's younger, but Pat's more, I think, consistent. Higher upside with Keith. That's a tough one. That's going to keep me up a little bit for me. What do you guys think? Does Keith Cooper make it? I think he's a perfect spot for the practice squad, but I do think there was enough positive pub that some team could take a chance on him. He was the player probably the scouts were looking at. Peter's like, this is it. Yes, he is wrong. Cooper's making this team, period. All right, Peter, take somebody out. Is it O'Connor? And Nick gets in a good point, too. If Z comes back, who's getting cut? I think maybe Pat O'Connor. Or you keep 6 defensive tackles. Levi is already out. He's on the PUP list. Levi is officially injured. So he's not going to count. Who are you taking out? Oh, Bees is heartless. Cut Vaki. Vaki in. Vaki out. Cooper in. Vaki out. Smith in. There you go. Yeah, I think that probably would go my way. So that gives me a point. So we'll see. This is Christian's. 5 defensive tackles. And I did check. It did add up to 53, so that's always a plus. 7 linebackers. Campbell, Anzalone, Barnes, Stewart, Nowaski, Cunningham, Pittman. Also, too, you probably could cut Pittman and get another. You go with 6 linebackers, and you roll with Zadarius Smith. They might do that. I might just put Zadarius Smith on my 53-man, just for the fun of it. 53-man, Lions bring back crowd favorite. I think you could do that. You take out, you got 3 players to work with. All right? So let's play GM. Pittman, Vaki, O'Connor. You take them out. You add Kingsley. You add Zadarius. And you add Keith Cooper. I think that makes the team better. I already made the team better, Christian. Shame on you. What do you guys think? We take out those 3. Who are you taking out? We got some names we can take out. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I like these 7. And I like how Peter thinks too, right? Direct. He's like, I don't like this. I like guys like Peter. Is it Peter Van Laarhoven? 100% right on. Am I right with your pronunciation? It does, right, Nick? But remember, the defensive coordinator is a former linebacker. He might favor some of these guys, Zach and Anthony. But you're right. See, Peter? It's my ethnicity. My ethnicity lets me say your name correctly. Everybody likes Rodrigo. See, you guys are developing connections here in the chat. Campbell, Anzalone, Barnes, Stewart, Trevor Nowaski has earned a spot. It's going to be between Cunningham and Pittman. If it stays this, you probably would take out Pittman, right? I think Cunningham started off strong, but he hasn't kind of been noticeable all that much. But he's got value. What do you guys think? But yeah, I like how you guys are helping shape mine. Christian did a good one for his. 5 cornerbacks. Reed, Arnold, Robertson, Maddox, Khalil Dorsey. The rest gave it a good. I think Whiteside comes back. He's a Lion, part of 69. Eric Hallett, I think, part of the 69. The other 3, maybe one of them makes it. Russell, we'll see. But I like these 5. It's a good start. 4 safeties, Joseph Branch, Rock Ya-Sin, Lauren Strickland. My man is wrong. I don't know. I think Christian way overrated what Strickland did today over Kennelly. I didn't even see that. I would not have approved that. But hey, it's to each his own. I think he's wrong. I'm going to put in Kennelly in mine for sure. I thought, yeah, maybe Strickland had a better day today, but the whole body of work, and Dan Campbell's a whole body of work guy, Kennelly was better, right? So Christian's wrong in this one. But he had a good performance today. Christian's right. I saw it. You guys saw it. And then the specialists, everybody in the world is going to have those 3. So it's a fascinating look at the roster. A fascinating look. No, Kennelly gets claimed. There's no way, dude. He hits. He's physical. We get after it. So those are the predictions. I like his. It's a good standard. I think maybe he might be wrong on 3 to 4. Vaki, Pittman, Kingsley. No, I know Vaki's not going anywhere. Yeah, I like that. You guys are making the trades here in the chat. Don Burr, Vaki's not going anywhere. Yeah, I agree. Exactly, your favorite uncle. Kennelly over Strickland. That's what I'm doing. All right. Last segment here, about 10, 15 minutes left. If you have any names you think in or out, we'll get after it. What did we learn about the Detroit Lions? A lot of things. The starters are going to be great. You have 11 great starters on offense and 11 great starters on defense. I'm happy. It's a 10-win team to start, no matter what, barring injuries. Clearly, everything you hear from the doc regarding success is barring injuries. Healthy 22, those guys can stack up against anybody. Any given day, any field, R11 on offense and defense can go with anybody. Now, if you start picking some apart, there's a problem. Probably at depth at cornerback, depth along the offensive line, depth today. The defensive line depth was pretty bad. That was bad. That was a bad performance. Good Lord. You guys made the backup, I think the 3rd string of the Texans some cash. You guys made that man some money. No pressure, bad tackling. You lost to the Texans. Oh, yeah. DM5. He didn't. I mean, he's going to come back on the practice squad. Nobody's going to take a chance on him. He hasn't shown nothing. He's been hurt. He's a practice squad guy. I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of teams taking flyers on guys that don't put up film. So he's on the team, but he's number 67 on the roster. He's got a long way to go. Guys, think about it. I know that you project Manu in 2 years maybe to be somebody, but this is the NFL. You can't be doing that. I asked Ray Agnew. He said the standard, good answer. He said everybody's a project when they come in as a young player. You got to get molded. But the starting point for Manu and Broderick and Hendon is a little bit too far back to be successful, in my opinion. That will be the 3 picks that if it doesn't work out with the Super Bowl, you will say, man, if he would have hit on one of those 3, would have hit on somebody else besides Levi, maybe Pascal. It's 5 players. Just need 1 or 2 more. And 1 or 2 more aggressive moves in free agency, that could have been enough. Puka or Hendon Hooker? Puka or Broderick Martin? Could you imagine, guys? And it's fantasy land, but it's fun on a Saturday evening. If it would have went this way, you could have rolled 5 receiver sets for the fun of it. J-Mo, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka, TeSlaa, and Tim Patrick. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Man. Could have had Puka and TeSlaa together. Puka, TeSlaa, J-Mo, and St. Brown. You might have had the 4 biggest wide receivers in the history of the league. And you might have won 2 Super Bowls. Would they have still saw TeSlaa the same way if they had Puka? I think so. What are you guys nervous about? I like that. Bees, I'm nervous about the O-line. The depth. Yeah, you have to be nervous about something. Your favorite uncle, Puka on the Lions, would have been insane. Brad had to activate that in us by saying I regret not taking him. He had him on his board. He liked him. You had him. Oh! Imagine drafting Nico Collins instead of Iffy. Iffy. It adds up there, but he's got a lot of hits. He's still got a lot of hits, but it might be just those 1 or 2 misses, those developmental pieces that you didn't need. Hendon, Iffy, free agency with Emmanuel Mosley. Yeah, but Nico was one of those rare individuals where Michigan didn't utilize his skill set. That one was one where you had to see a little bit of diamond in the rough. Michigan didn't appreciate him. They didn't throw him the ball. He gets to the league, he gets activated by Ohio State quarterback. The irony, huh? What do we learn about the Lions? First and foremost, the talk about the coordinators is overstated. Calvin Shepard ran a beautiful camp, aggressive. He knows the stuff. He learned. He's going to apply his craft. He's going to be an NFL head coach one day. You learned that the offense, when they need to dial in and lock in, you go to St. Brown, you go to JMO, you go to Laporta. Gibbs is a superstar. Your offense looks good against opponents that don't know what's coming. The Lions defense knew what was coming. They've been studying it for 3 years. Alex Anzalone knows when Goff's going to turn left, turn right, kill it. He knows all. He knows it all. Jack Campbell knows it all. Terrion knows it all. What did we learn? Terrion's a stud. Terrion's locked in on JMO, locked in on St. Brown. There's no way you don't develop when you're matching up against the Lions. TA's going to have a good year. Will be PFF top 15 cornerback in the league. One more year, maybe top 10. DJ Reed, I think, is going to be a great influence. I like the starters, 11 and on offense and defense. So again, it begins and ends with Goff. How he plays is how this season is going to go. It's going to be some tough decisions. The toughest decision for the roster is going to be Meeks or Lovett. A couple players here or there, 5-6 spots. Cooper, O'Connor, Kingsley, Moody. The interior of the offensive line is going to be a question mark. I think those 5 that played today pretty much did enough. But they had their moments. They got to step it up. And also, 2 guys, I'm going to guess 3 to 4 external guys come in here and blow out some guys. I think they go and get some of the cuts out there. 1 or 2, maybe 3. So pay attention to the cut list. How's it going to go for us? We're going to track every cut. Don't worry. You will find it, Lions on SI. We will podcast every single day. I'm going 40 days strong, maybe 41 into next Friday. I'm becoming accustomed to this. I like this. I enjoy it. It's coming easier and easier. The community is great. For every 100 comments, there's only 1 bad one. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's coming natural to deliver the message. I've gotten good at podcasting, and I can deliver my thoughts clearly and succinctly and in a way I think you guys like. I think you respect my honesty and my directness and my openness to share. What's to hide? I've done this a long time. I'm very confident in what I do. Like I said, I get energized doing this. I really do. I can go another 2 hours, but I feel like I've delivered everything I've wanted to share today. I'll take a couple questions, last 5 minutes or so, and we'll continue. There's going to be a couple more articles today on Lions on SI. So again, easy way to look at it as it scrolls across the screen. At Detroit Podcast, that's where you find the central hub. That's where I'm posting info constantly. Jokes. Did you guys know I broke the news? I heard Isaac TeSlaa is making the team. You heard it first. Now, I'm not going to take credit for that nonsense. I saw somebody last year it was funny. Someone was like, guys, I just want to let it be known Jared Goff's making the team. That was last year. I saw that. I saw the people joking around. So I said, I had a feeling TeSlaa was going to have a good game. So I said, I'm going to fire this off as I'm sitting there and I'm by myself. Remember, I've left 2 seats open to mine. So it's just me and the internet and the football. And I'm like, let me just fire off some nonsense. And so at Detroit Podcast, you will see that I got to reset the gloss that I said, okay, so first and foremost, let's reset the truth. Shedeur Sanders did not go on a podcast and say that TeSlaa had aura. But when I saw the photo, that was what I thought at the time. So I shared it. So I think for the most part, when you start to get to know me, you know the truth versus the nonsense. And if you ever get confused, just ask. But I have to have some nonsense in there because I need to laugh. It's funny. So, and I think it too. I was like, this would be funny. So I said, okay, don't censor yourself. Just throw it out there. So I said, hey guys, I just need to let you know, Isaac TeSlaa is making the team. And then he went out there, did the worm, had a touchdown. So it kind of validated it. And I got to reset the fact that I got another good tweet where I said, hey guys, Shedeur looked at this guy and said he's got aura. He does. He stood out. Well, because of his hair and his personality, he has something. He's got that you need kind of as a competitor, as a young athlete. You're not marred by the business side of the game or the ins and outs of the challenges. So Isaac TeSlaa, he's got the aura. I mean, and plus, I'm a guy that has aura, so I can tell. I can smell it in the air. I'm an aura expert, guys. I'm a psychologist. I'm a 25-year psychologist and a sports psychologist and a darn good one. I can tell who's got it. You just know it when you see it. And also, too, I'm a hardcore wrestling fan. So you can tell right when the person's music hits and they walk out to the crowd, will they be a superstar in wrestling or not? Chris Jericho, superstar. Hulk Hogan, superstar. Kevin Owens, superstar. CM Punk, superstar. LA Knight, they got to give him a push. Seth Rollins, you can tell. You can just tell. TeSlaa's got it. Just a Fan's a member now. Thank you, guys. Become a member. As we keep growing, we're getting to near a dozen or 2 members. We'll have some maybe content just for you guys. Interviews or some special videos just to talk to you guys. I really appreciate that. Exactly. Before the worm, I wasn't sure. Yeah. You know why? I have it on good authority that he saw my critique. That was not NFL standard. And I have it on good authority. He saw that. That was college. That was Arkansas. What he did today, that was doc standard. A+. Brother dropped the worm on the people. Brother dropped the worm on people. It's aura. That's what you got to do. What are you going to do? I mean, the days of Barry Sanders handing the ball, that's old. This is 2025. You need a little spice. What that was just like an intro. That was a little tease. Like, okay, I'm going to just do something to start the hype train. The worm, A+, brother, A+. I asked TeSlaa a question today. I said, how'd your confidence grow? What'd you get better at? He said playing on the outside made him feel more confident. So it's cool. Real cool. See? Yeah, I'm telling you, this is not going to cut it in the league, baby. That's Arkansas. That's not going to cut it. You will not get any mention on a YouTube channel. You won't get any shine. You won't get any gloss. You drop the worm on people, then they replay it in slow motion. Slick. You build your brand. You build your brand. And TeSlaa, good on you, brother. Good on you, man. Good addition. Come in and contribute. That's where people can say, hey, you can contribute early if you got talent. It sticks out. What we learned, TeSlaa is a freak. And he can contribute on this offense. I was wrong. Where I was right, Hendon Hooker. Where I was wrong, I thought TeSlaa was going to be a red shirt. I thought they were going to NFL his self. Like, hey, calm down, kid. He outdid himself. Touchdown, grab. He outdid whatever. That's what we need from Hendon Hooker. Just outdo the expectation. Everybody thought, well, take it easy. You got to learn the offense. He's out there high pointing the ball. That can happen. We're not used to seeing it in Detroit, but outside the league, outside of Detroit, we saw that. People can do that. That's the expectation I have for every third-round pick. That's the part where we go Iffy and Levi and these guys. If you pick right, they can play right away. TeSlaa is talented. Now he's got to do it against the better players. But yeah, he abused that guy. Guys, remember the holy cow. I feel bad. I don't know who he beat because I was just looking at TeSlaa and the route and how easy it was for him to catch that. Friends, do not ever let friends play cornerback. And if you're 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", unless you're Meek Robertson and you're crazy-minded, that mismatch was pretty bad. He didn't even have to blow by him. He just found the right angle, and David Shaw said it, man. If there's a ball in your area, forget about it. It's a trap. Ball's going to TeSlaa. Whoo. Cody, I don't think we had that high point wide receiver who will get that 50-50 ball. TeSlaa might be getting some red zone touchdowns. Absolutely. He's Herman Moore. You can see it. High point the ball. Guys, Goff to TeSlaa. Playoff game. Comes down with it. Brent gets in. Kyle Allen threw that moon ball straight up and dropped it in the bucket. Jeff Garcia would be proud. Hell yeah. Kyle Allen knew, like, I'm getting a check off of this dude. He's like, don't let me play with this guy. I'm in. The TeSlaa Kyle Allen connection has been right off the charts. So that means we're going to need Goff pretty quickly to develop a connection. Maybe. Could regret over Puka have influenced how much Brad gave up to go up and get TeSlaa? No, I think that they saw a guy that could do this. I think they would have did the same thing. Once Brad saw that this guy didn't make the Senior Bowl, then worked his way up and shined in a lower East Shrine Bowl game, I think, East-West Shrine Bowl. Then he worked his way up, then got the invite to the Senior Bowl and dominated there and blocking and does everything. It's like, holy cow. He would have seen it. And plus he's from here. His name would have been on the radar. Jeff, does John Morton have a say in the roster? Might like different players more than Dan and Brad. Of course, he's going to have a say. Like, I like this, and you saw the meeting where he said, "Hey, he was involved in keeping Craig Reynolds." He'll have a say, but the decision goes to Brad, and Brad's collaborative. Tomorrow's meetings are going to be fun. All right, guys, 83 minutes. I appreciate it. I feel like I got everything out that I wanted to say. I'm very happy with training camp. I'm very happy with the coverage here. Lions on SI, 500 people here on a Saturday night. Love it. Hit the like button, subscribe, become a member, hit the notification bell. I would have recorded, if Thursday comes around, 40 straight days of shows. 40 straight live broadcasts covering the Detroit Lions training camp. Doc's training camp, baby. More work, going to put out some more content, but I will enjoy the rest of Sunday. Tomorrow, maybe around noonish, lunch with the doc. We'll pick back up. Visit, and then also too, guys, for more coverage, visit si.com/NFL/Lions. It's on every video. You can't miss it. There's information there, information on X, information everywhere. Thanks for being part of the community. I'm humbled that you would include me and trust me. I really do care that you guys trust me more than anybody else. The media I just use for motivation, which has been pure motivation. I really care if you trust me. I really, really care. And to be included in the mix of the media, to have people get excited if they catch me live, that means a lot to me. That's what I care about most. That's what I truly care about. Everything else, I have another reason too. I'm a jealous hater, which is good because it keeps me motivated. I'm a jealous hater, but in a way that I've used it for motivation. You know who else has invited me? I invited him into my home, into your home. Dan Miller sat in this very chair where I'm sitting. Into your home. Dan Miller sat right here and he was all comfortable, like almost put his feet up. He was sitting there like this, like, yeah, man, yeah. And he was giving me advice. He actually gave me so much good advice. He's like, don't turn down podcast interviews. We sat for an hour. The video feed is still up. If you subscribe, it takes a little bit of scrolling on your part. But if you follow Detroit Sports Podcast on Apple and Spotify, if you scroll up 5-6 years ago, I started off an interview series. Johnny Kane, Justin Rose, Dan Miller, Neil Rule. I did an hour with all these people. I honed my interview skills. And Dan and Neil dropped great advice on me. And me and Dan chopped it up for an hour. He talked about his history. I was one of the first ones to get that. Yeah, Dan sat right where I'm sitting. It's probably why I do it subconsciously. My man has invited everybody but me. They're like, the networks cannot have this guy. We cannot invite him in our aura. We've had The Athletic, ESPN, all the outsiders. Who knows the Lions better than me? Really, in the end. The network will not have Mr. Macaroon. So I thought that. I wrote that down. I will turn down those that made me last. I will not be on the pregame on the Lions network. I will officially turn that down. I'm not last in anything. Motivation. That'll fuel me for the next 5 years. And also, too, I have a couple other things. One, I have these three things. One, Lions Radio Network won't interview me. Two, not on the trusted list from the media. And three, the Lions website won't aggregate me. Those are just, you know how good that is for me? You know how much that is and how much that bothers me and how good that's been for me? Oh, it's been so good. Dan, we chopped it up. You say hi to me every day. Oh, listen, I know you can't have me. I'm wild. You could lie to me. Listen, John, I want to like, he hasn't even lied to me. Like, the people just be like, hey, man, you do some good work. You're there every day. Every day you do some good work. I'm going to have you in here and then just never have me. I would do that. But in the end, I care only in that I will use it to motivate me to keep grinding when I'm tired. I'm not last to anybody's list. And here's what I mean. I'll give the Lions some shine. I'll give them a click. Here's what happens. I have it videoed like in 3 spots. I'll share it. And this is what you need to do. It's just motivation. I'm not offended. You think I care? I respect Dan Miller with the highest amount. And if he would have me, I probably would respect him less. Like, why would he have me, an outsider, in his show? That would be crazy. But I still would decline it. I'm not worthy, Mr. Miller. I'm not worthy. But this one, I think I am worthy. A little bit. But I'd rather they don't so I can keep being motivated. It just motivates me. And that's what you should do. All hate should be motivation. All things that don't go your way should be used as motivation. This one bothers me like a 6.5 because I don't need it. I don't need the extra clicks, but it's nice to be at least included because I think I'm going to see live what bugs me. This is the Detroit Lions website. And like every good website, they feature cheerleaders. No, they have this thing called the Daily Drive. What that is, the Daily Drive right there, is they just go to other sites, click on it, and share their stuff. I talked to Rayner, good dude. Let's look at the list. Look at the accepted list. I don't even know what to call it. This is the accepted list. Rayner, Free Press, Dave Burkett, wonderful. You have to have him. Ben Raven, Nolan, Richard Silva, an intern. I like this kid. I talked to him a lot. Teron Finley is going to be a great reporter. Corey, great guy. The Athletic, The Ticket. This right here. This, I know it's going to bother me. This is my colleague. He is an outsider. This is guy who reads my stuff. 5 takeaways from the Lions joint practice. You think he saw it better than me? I was there. What that guy did was talk to other people and watch practice. I'm there every day. But that stuff right there, That'll fuel me for 5 years. That's my colleague. Great writer. God, I knew I was going to see that. The great Justin Rogers, Jeremy, Eric. You see what I'm saying? So a guy like me goes, what have I done to be besmirched with this? But I would say, please, if you watch this, if someone sees this, do not include me. I don't want to be on the list. Do not include me. I'm not worthy. I don't need to be worthy. I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. This is my motivation. This is my joy. I know what I've produced. I know what I'm worth. And I don't want to be included. I like to stand outside a little bit in the cold, a little bit rugged, a little bit shirt up, just looking at the people that are included. That will motivate me to keep grinding forever. But I'm human. Like, come on. But those 3 things have put a charge in my ass so bad that I write and produce, and the numbers grow. And I'm even doing live broadcasts. And who knows where it will go. I'm having fun with it. But I deserve a little bit of something. Throw me a bone. Or, like I said in the previous broadcast, throw Vito and Christian a bone. They're busting their ass. You don't have to. I'm fine. The third, white dial, green dial, blue dial, I'm doing fine. I'm blessed. But naturally speaking, as a human Pisces, my colleagues, outsiders that fly in for one day. But I humbly thank you for doing that. You made me very successful and very happy professionally. But that's how you should use it. Use it to win. I won the game. I won the media game. This is all fun. But that's what I use to piss me off. Right? I'm not insulted. I use it as motivation. It's just human. Like, I didn't do anything that wrong. I talk a little junk. I'm a regular guy. I didn't do anything wrong. So please don't insult me. Don't do that. I'm good. It's just used for my own personal motivation. It actually helps. When I'm tired, I think of that stuff and I go record one more show. I'm trying to think about going to 41 shows. I need to take a break. I will after next Friday for sure. But Dan should have invited me. I mean, you sat in my chair, you kicked your feet up next to the thing. You were like this. He was like, man, yeah. He actually held the microphone like this. This is how we did the interview. He was like, yeah. It was amazing. Throw me a bone, man. But I'm busy. Let's go. 90 minutes. More content, more. The doc is here. I'm in the mix. And I'm happy to cover the Detroit Lions. Let's talk tomorrow. Peace and love, everybody. Be motivated. Be hungry. Be sensitive. And use it for good. Peace.